The rain hammered against the windows of my small apartment, each drop a painful reminder of the storm raging inside me. Barnaby, a 44-year-old mechanic in Manchester, had always prided myself on my ability to fix things, whether it was a sputtering engine or a leaky faucet. But this was beyond my skill set. This was a broken heart, shattered by the woman I thought I knew better than anyone. My wife, Meredith, had always been the vibrant, outgoing one. A marketing executive, she thrived in the bustling city, while I found solace in the greasy comfort of my garage. We seemed like an unlikely pair, but somehow we fit. Or at least I thought we did. The first crack appeared subtly, almost imperceptibly. Meredith started working late more often, claiming demanding deadlines and important client meetings. I didn't think much of it at first. I trusted her implicitly. After all, we had been together for 15 years, married for 10. We had built a life together, a comfortable, predictable life. But then came the little things. The way she flinched when I touched her, the distant look in her eyes when I tried to talk to her about my day, the new perfume I didn't recognize. I tried to brush them off, to convince myself that I was just being paranoid. But the feeling of unease persisted, a knot tightening in my stomach with each passing day. The truth hit me like a punch to the gut one cold Tuesday morning. Meredith had left her phone on the kitchen counter, buzzing incessantly. I wouldn't normally snoop, but the name on the screen stopped me dead in my tracks. Jasper, a name I didn't recognize. Curiosity, or perhaps a morbid sense of self-preservation, got the better of me. I unlocked the phone. She hadn't changed the password from our anniversary date, and opened the message. "Can't wait to see you tonight, darling. I'm already counting down the hours." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. My breath caught in my throat. I scrolled through the messages, each one a dagger twisting in my heart. Explicit, loving, intimate messages. Messages that were meant for me but were being sent to someone else. Someone named Jasper. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. My hands trembled as I continued to read, piecing together the puzzle of their affair. They had been seeing each other for months, meeting in secret at hotels and restaurants, weaving a web of lies that had ensnared me completely. I stumbled back, knocking over a stack of magazines. The sound echoed in the silent kitchen, a stark reminder of the emptiness that was about to consume my life. I didn't know what to do, how to react. Part of me wanted to scream, to confront her immediately, but another part of me was frozen, paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of the betrayal. When Meredith finally came downstairs, she found me standing in the kitchen, her phone clutched in my hand. Her face paled as she took in the scene. She knew. She knew that I knew. "Barnaby," she began, her voice trembling. "Who is Jasper?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She hesitated for a moment, then the dam broke. The tears started to flow, and the words came tumbling out in a torrent of guilt and confession. Jasper was a colleague, a senior partner at her firm. They had started working closely together on a big project, and one thing had led to another. She claimed it was a mistake, a moment of weakness. She said she loved me, that she didn't want to lose me, but the words rang hollow. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. How could I ever believe her again? How could I ever look at her without seeing the image of her in Jasper's arms? "I want you to leave," I said, my voice cold and detached. "I want you out of this house." She pleaded with me, begged me to reconsider. She promised to end the affair, to do whatever it took to win back my trust. But I was done. The Meredith I loved was gone, replaced by a stranger who had betrayed me in the most profound way imaginable. The next few weeks were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and bitter recriminations. The divorce was messy and acrimonious. Meredith fought for everything she could get, seemingly determined to punish me for daring to end our marriage. I moved into a small apartment above my garage, surrounded by the familiar scent of oil and metal. It was a lonely existence, but it was better than living in the house we had shared, haunted by the ghost of our shattered dreams. I tried to move on, to rebuild my life. I threw myself into my work, spending long hours in the garage, losing myself in the intricate mechanics of engines and transmissions. It was a temporary escape, but it wasn't enough. The pain lingered, a constant ache in my chest. One day, a woman walked into my garage with a broken-down car. Her name was Penelope, and she was a private investigator. She explained that she needed her car fixed urgently, as she was working on a case. I agreed to help her, drawn to her quiet strength and unwavering focus. As I worked on her car, we started talking. She told me about her job, the cases she had worked on, the secrets she had uncovered. I found myself drawn to her world, a world of intrigue and deception. One evening, after I had finished repairing her car, Penelope asked me if I would be interested in helping her with a case. She needed someone with mechanical skills to examine a vehicle that was suspected of being involved in an insurance scam. I hesitated for a moment, then agreed. I needed a distraction, something to take my mind off Meredith and the pain she had caused. Working with Penelope was exhilarating. I felt alive again, engaged in something meaningful. I discovered a talent for investigation, a knack for spotting inconsistencies and unraveling complex puzzles. We made a good team, Penelope with her sharp intellect and unwavering determination, and me with my practical skills and attention to detail. As we worked together, I found myself drawn to Penelope. She was intelligent, compassionate, and fiercely independent. She had a quiet strength that I admired, and a warmth that made me feel safe and secure. One night after we had spent hours working on a case, Penelope invited me back to her apartment for a drink. We sat on her balcony, overlooking the city, and talked for hours. We shared our stories, our hopes, and our fears. I told her about Meredith and the betrayal that had shattered my life. She listened patiently, offering words of comfort and understanding. As the night wore on, I found myself leaning closer to Penelope. I wanted to kiss her, to feel her warmth against my skin. But I hesitated, afraid of being hurt again. Penelope seemed to sense my hesitation. She reached out and took my hand, her eyes filled with tenderness. "Barnaby," she said softly, "you deserve to be happy. Don't let the past hold you back." Her words gave me the courage I needed. I leaned in and kissed her, a tentative, hesitant kiss that quickly deepened into something more. It was a kiss filled with longing, with hope, and with the promise of a new beginning. Over the next few months, Penelope and I grew closer. We worked together on more cases, and we spent our free time exploring the city, going to concerts, and simply enjoying each other's company. I found myself falling in love with her slowly but surely. One day, Penelope came to me with a proposition. She had been offered a job as a senior investigator at a large law firm in London. She wanted me to come with her, to work as her assistant and continue our partnership. I hesitated for a moment. Leaving Manchester would mean leaving everything I knew, my garage, my friends, my family. But I knew that I couldn't pass up this opportunity. Penelope had given me a second chance at life, a chance to find happiness again. I couldn't imagine my life without her. "Yes," I said without hesitation. "I'll go with you." We packed our bags, said our goodbyes, and set off for London. It was a new beginning, a fresh start. I left the pain and betrayal of my past behind me and embraced the future with Penelope by my side. Life in London was exciting and challenging. I thrived in my new role as Penelope's assistant, using my mechanical skills and investigative talents to solve complex cases. We worked long hours, but we always made time for each other. We explored the city, discovered new restaurants, and made new friends. One evening, as we were walking home from dinner, Penelope stopped me on a bridge overlooking the Thames. She took my hands in hers, her eyes shining in the moonlight. "Barnaby," she said, "I love you more than words can say. You are the kindest, most compassionate man I have ever met. Will you marry me?" Tears welled up in my eyes. I had never imagined that I would find love again after Meredith's betrayal. But Penelope had shown me that it was possible, that even after the most devastating heartbreak, there was still hope for a happy ending. "Yes," I said, my voice choked with emotion. "Yes, I will marry you." We embraced, our love a beacon of hope in the darkness. I knew that our life together would not be without its challenges, but I also knew that we could face anything as long as we had each other. As I stood on that bridge, holding Penelope in my arms, I realized that Meredith's betrayal had ultimately led me to this moment. It had been a painful and devastating experience, but it had also forced me to confront my own vulnerabilities and to discover my own strength. I had emerged from the ashes of my shattered marriage a stronger, more resilient man, and I had found love again, a love that was deeper and more meaningful than anything I had ever known. I never spoke to Meredith again. I heard through mutual friends that she had lost her job after her affair with Jasper was exposed. He had moved on to another woman, leaving her alone and heartbroken. I felt a pang of sympathy for her, but I couldn't bring myself to forgive her. She had made her choices, and she had to live with the consequences. I focused on my own life, on my relationship with Penelope, and on building a future filled with love and happiness. I learned that betrayal can be a devastating experience, but it doesn't have to define you. You can overcome it, you can find love again, and you can create a life that is even better than the one you lost. And so, I rebuilt my life brick by brick with Penelope by my side. The rain still falls, but now I have someone to shelter me from the storm.